Hey, it's Min from the Art of Verbal War, where people learn to excel in verbal skills. Today we're going to talk about how to handle put-down questions. What are put-down questions? Well, let me give you an example. So 2 weeks ago, the owner of the San Francisco 49ers, which is the professional football team here near me in San Francisco, fired his head coach and general manager. And he announced this in a press conference where the press, sensing his lack of confidence and lack of competence, decided to rip him to shreds like a bunch of savages. Here's a question he got. Jed, why are you competent to lead a search for a general manager and head coach? And here's another question he got. Jed, why shouldn't you be dismissed or reassigned? So I'm not going to tell you exactly what he said, but basically the 49er faithful were not left with confidence that he's going to be able to turn this sinking ship around. So this is a reality of life. People will always question your competence, people will question your abilities, and they will always try to make you justify yourself to them. So this is what I mean by put down questions. The types of questions you might get in business meetings, interviews, meetings with your boss, or other pressure-filled situations in life. You absolutely cannot avoid them, and you absolutely must learn how to handle them skillfully. So let's just pretend I'm rich enough to own a football team. And I'm sorry for my non-American fans, what we call football here isn't actually what we call soccer. So in answering put-down questions, the most important thing is don't be defensive and don't ever look to justify yourself. And what I mean by that is don't look to answer any of these put-down questions directly. So the first way to answer these put-down questions is to reframe the question. And what I mean by that is by redefining the question in a way that makes it easier to answer for you. These types of questions are usually framed in a way that's not beneficial for you, that makes it very difficult for you to answer. So this is rule number 6 of my book, The New Art of Being Right, which is called setting the table. So what do I mean by setting a table? What I mean is you don't want to answer in the frame that the other person has set for you. Instead, you want to set a new frame. So in this case, you're going to try to move the frame from an objective frame to a subjective frame. So if I were Jed York, instead of giving a laundry list of reasons to the press and letting them decide whether those are good reasons, this is what I would say. To me, being competent is about knowing when to cut your losses and learning from your mistakes. And that's what I'm doing right now. So do you see how that completely reshapes the question to one that the reporter controls to one that you control? To the second question, which is, why shouldn't you be dismissed or reassigned? So in order to answer this question, let's go to rule 25 of my book, The New Art of Being Right, which is find one instance to the contrary. And in this answer, we're gonna find many instances to the contrary. So what I mean by this is that as long as you can find one exception to the rule, then you've won the argument. So this is how I would answer. Let me ask you this. Was the owner of the LA Rams dismissed when he fired their head coach? No? That's right. Well, this case is no different. Okay, my friends, those were 2 techniques from my book, The New Art of Being Right. 38 ways to win an argument in today's world. If you want a free preview, click on any of the annotations in this video or go to www.artofverbalwar.com/AOBR bonus and I'll send you a free preview. Okay, so that's it for today. I'm Min Lu from the Art of Verbal War and I'll see you guys next time.